You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? It's your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and most importantly, video games, you come to the right place, guys, because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 420. Yes, sir, 420. Let me start off by saying, please forgive the way I sound. This podcast almost didn't happen. My daughter got pink eye and she had the flu. Guess what? She brought it home and gave it to everybody, including your boy. So I sound like hot garbage right now. So I apologize in advance. We got a nice show today. We got my anime watch list. We have Fallout 4. We have some news there. We also have some Nintendo and Pokemon to get into a little bit. We also have some Sony. They had a state of play recently. Going to talk a little bit about that. Also, we have a new console on the way, guys, and it's from Valve. Yes, so I can't wait to get into some of this stuff. Let's get started, and let's go ahead and start with the anime watch list. And I want to say Netflix has a couple of bangers. One in particular that goes by the name of Toge Anki. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name, but yes, it's a new anime. Started watching it, only watched like 2 episodes. It's about this kid whose father gets killed, and apparently he finds out that he's not his real father. There's 2 clans, and each clan represents certain powers and abilities. And basically one of the guys, I guess the stepfather, I call him the stepfather, had the kid as a baby, took him, and his clan, they kill these children. They kill these individuals because these clans are clashing. And the reason that is because most of these people who are in one clan, which is where the little boy or baby was, they have uncontrollable abilities. Okay. A lot of them, it's like a berserk mode, so to speak. So they just kind of, when they hit this mode, they just go apeshit crazy and there's no rhyme or reason, right? And that's where it kind of starts. I don't want to give too much away. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. I didn't check if it was on Crunchyroll or not, but I do know it is dubbed. I'm watching the dubbed version of that. And I hope to finish this one or at least get caught up. I don't even know if it's done because I think I looked on there and they said, oh yeah, I think we got a new episode just added. So I want to say there's going to be 24 episodes at least. I think there's like 19 or 20 of them available now. So I'm going to go dive in here in the next couple of days on that one. And I guess I'll give you guys an update next week. But yeah, so finally getting some time to watch something, a little bit of anime. I've just been busy as hell. I've been sick. I've just been on my ass. Like I said, today is really the first day I'm really well enough to just do some things, right? Took some Theraflu. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like this liquid shit that helps you, kind of get on your feet, move around a little bit if you got something you got to do. So that's what I'm trying to do, guys. Why it's still in my system. I'm trying to get this podcast done for you guys because there's just too much shit that went on this past week for me not to discuss with you guys. So now that the anime shit is out of the way, let's go ahead and start with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 has been getting a lot of fucking flack. They have been getting pissed on by the fans, and apparently it's deservingly so because they just disappointed a lot of fans, guys, with a lot of things that they've been doing. And they have a Fallout Anniversary Edition. Okay. Let's start there. If you're wondering what that is, it's basically a $39.99 edition of Fallout 4. Now, basically, this is for people who, I guess, don't have, just have the game. So if you have the base game, I mean, you could pay this $40 and you could get all the DLC. You can get everything, include all the mods, all of that shit, right? For $40. Now, that's what pissed a lot of people off first and foremost. They were mad about the price. It was like, yo, $40 for this shit, man? It's crazy. This game has been old. This game is over 10 years old and you guys are charging this. Here's where shit starts to roll downhill, okay? Now, say if you had $20 and you had the game and you wanted just the creations bundle, that's $20. So basically that's like all the mods, if you want the mods or whatnot. Cool, whatever. But here's what are really rubbing people the wrong way with this game. It's a broken pile of shit from what I hear people talking about, okay? All the videos I've watched, it's just, you got new bugs, you got performance problems, guys, okay? Instead of smooth experience, players across all platforms, PC, PS5, Xbox, Series X and X, have reported new issues. These include frequent game crashes, significant stuttering in areas like downtown Boston, and graphical glitches. Okay, this is just a little bit. All right, then you got minimum perceived improvements. Many players feel the updates add little meaningful new content or visual enhancements to justify the disruption. The Anniversary Edition's new creation content is largely seen as a minor cosmetic or workshop items, okay, lacking the substantial quest lines or new mechanics found in Skyrim's equivalent update. Okay, so they're comparing it to other updates and things of that nature. So I definitely see that as well. Also, DLC access issues. Some console players report issues where previously owned DLC was no longer recognized by the game after the update, effectively locking them out of content they had already paid for. Guys, imagine you having a game, buying the DLC, you're getting ready to play it, right? You want to play some Fallout, but there was a recent update, and we all know how updates are. They're forced upon you, okay? And I'll get into that in a second. You do the update, and guess what? You can't have access to your own DLC that you pay for. It's saying you don't have it, or you have to rebuy it again. And let me segue into forced updates. The updates were mandatory, which forced these issues onto all players, including those happy with their existing stable modded setups. So there's lots of people who play Fallout, play their mods, enjoy their shit. There's an update that is forced. You have to play this. You have to update this, or you can't access your previous game. And this is my issue when it comes to just digital shit, period, guys, because they can update something like this anytime they want on a game that you absolutely love. And then you go to play it. You can't play it now until you update it. Boom. And then you're fucked, right? So what you have to do now is delete the update, go offline to play your damn game. So this is the part that kills me. And this is why I don't understand when companies do the things that they do. This is basically Bethesda milking everyone dry. They're taking their name and they're riding the coattails of Fallout, and they're making people pay extra money and do extra things. And like I said, people already own this game. People already own the DLC. They just want to enjoy their shit how it is. But when you're forced to do an update and then you can't access the shit that you already paid for, that's where there's going to be issues, guys. Now, they claim they're going to work on this. They're claiming that they're going to fix all this stuff in due time. But the problem with that is people want their shit done now. They're not worried about a month, 2 months from now when you finally figure out a way to fix it. And usually when these things happen, you fix one thing, two things that weren't anything wrong with, they break. And then you go fix those, and then guess what? It's something else, right? And you play this cat and mouse game with the software for about 6 months to a year until you finally say, guess what, guys? 9 months later, we finally got everything the way we needed to. There should be no more issues. Hey, let's celebrate. And that's why people are pissed. There's not going to be a new Fallout game anytime soon. We all know this. All right. They're working on other things in the back. This is what we have now. And this is a piss poor presentation, to be honest. First of all, it's too expensive and it should not cost that much money, guys. $39.99. It's crazy. And like I said, that's people riding the coattails. Same thing that happened with the Last of Us series, guys. I love The Last of Us. One of my favorite in all of gaming. Last of Us 2 is one of my all-time favorite games ever. The way these guys keep putting out remakes just makes me want to throw up. It just does, because you see it. It's clear as day. Like, they don't think that people are capable or smart enough to see these things when they're happening. That's what it feels like, right? They think that gamers are just dumb, mindless, don't have a brain, are blind, and don't see this stuff. And the problem with that is it can backfire, and it can really hurt you, and it can really hurt your brand if you step over that line. And it feels like Bethesda has stepped over that line. It really does. They've done a little too much here, and their hand is being slapped because they're going for the cookies in the cookie jar. That's what it feels like to me. It needs to be addressed, and hopefully they learn their lesson from this. But I don't know. Most big companies, most corporations, guys, they don't usually learn their lesson. Okay. But we'll see. Only time will tell. That is your Fallout 4 news. Next up, let's talk Nintendo and Pokemon. All right. Now, they're getting a lot of backlash, guys, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of Pokemon. And I'm talking about Pokemon Pocopia. I think that's how you pronounce it, guys. It's a game that's coming out in March. Okay. I think the actual release date is March 6th, 2026. And it's basically a life simulator. Okay. Think of Animal Crossing and just throw a Pokemon skin on top of that, right? This has a lot of people upset and deservingly so if you're a Pokemon fan. And a lot of Pokemon fans have been upset because they're frustrated with how Nintendo and how Pokemon actually as the brand is handling their IPs right now, guys. Okay. They're putting out a bunch of mediocre trash is what a lot of people are saying. Okay. What do I mean by that? Let's start with this keycard situation. This game is going to be using a key card when it comes out. Now, if you know anything about Nintendo, usually when they say key card, we're talking third party games. All right. We're not talking about first party games, which this is a first party Nintendo game. This game is not going to be released on anything else but the Nintendo Switch 2. Okay. I think the Switch 1 too, but it's a first party game. And usually when you get first party games from Nintendo, they put it on the cartridge, the whole game. Everything, right? They're going to put all this on a cartridge. Everything's cool. That's what most people assumed. People are already mad about Nintendo skimping on these carts and only doing it for first party games. But now what's setting everybody off is the fact that no, just when everybody got comfortable and put their head on that pillow, Nintendo decides to pull out this warm liquefied butter and they're ready to use it in the night. They're doing it with this game apparently because it's going to be on a key card. So they're not putting the game all on the cartridge, and basically it's going to make the game worthless in a matter of years. One thing that I loved about the first Nintendo Switch is that their games came on cartridge. In other words, you could play this offline. You don't have to be online. You can play it anytime you want, right? There's no expiration date on these cartridges, right? But with these key cards, there are. You have to download the actual game onto your gaming device, and the only way to do it is if you have that key card in there. Okay. So when the servers eventually go down and you have no way to download this game, you can't sell that cartridge anymore. It's worthless. It's a piece of trash now because you can no longer do anything with it. If something happens to your Switch, guess what? Those servers are not around anymore. You cannot download that game anymore. It's over. That's why people are pirating games. That's why the Switch 2 is going to definitely be pirated, guys. Trust me, the floodgates will eventually open and I will have my popcorn and root beer on standby. I promise you I will. And I'll definitely use extra butter on my popcorn. That's what's going to happen. And they wonder why people do the things that they do. When you run practices like this, what else do you expect to happen, guys? Nobody's immune to this. Nobody is going to be able to escape this. Nintendo should know better than that. It just makes it easier for people to pull out their butter if you pull out yours. That's all this is. Nintendo's saying, look, here's my butter. I'm throwing it on the counter. And then everybody's looking at it and saying, yo, I'm not going to let you get away with this, Nintendo. Eventually, they're going to have their own tubs of butter on the counter. And that's what's happening. Okay? I promise you, mark my words. Mark my words, guys. It may not happen next year or the year after that, but mark my words, eventually they will be pirating these games, especially the ones on the key card, because they got to find a way to back these up. They got to find a way to get their hands on these, right? You don't want Nintendo to be the gatekeeper because they're going to lock it up just like they have all their other games in the past from their other consoles, and they've locked it behind an online subscription. So they're putting out games every blue moon from every system of yesteryear when they want to and what games they want. You don't have that option. You can't go on there to the store and say, look, I want to buy this game for $10, $20 and download it like you used to do on their old eShops, which I used to love. And I wish they continue to do, but they're not doing it anymore. So they're going to say, no, well, we're going to put out what we want when we want, and you're going to have to just sit back and relax. And the only way you can play these is if you have an online subscription. So people are saying, okay, I'm going to get a Steam Deck. I'm going to go pirate all these games. Boom, there you have it. That's why I have a Steam Deck. I had a Steam Deck instead of the Switch 2 because I got tired of dealing with that. I wanted to play Wind Waker. I wanted to play some of these other games from the GameCube and so on and so forth. And I can do it now on the Steam Deck, and I have them on the Steam Deck. Okay. So I'm not apologizing for that, and no one else should either, because Nintendo has definitely changed. They're not the same Nintendo they used to be. I think we all know that now. And if they want to play dirty, there's going to be a lot of other people playing dirty as well. So that's what's been happening, guys. Another reason why people are upset with this Pokemon game, they say it looks like rubbish. They say it looks like hot garbage. And it does, man. It looks very bland and very mid. And of course, there's going to be a lot of Pokemon shills that are going to come up and say whatever they want. They're going to make excuses why they love it, why everything is good in their opinion. But like I said, in reality is, guys, the true fans, I listen to them because, guys, they're not saying anything wrong. They're just trying to express what they want. You would think that the Switch 2 is an upgrade. Why not put out games that are the same way? Upgraded. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it, guys. And here's another tidbit that a lot of you guys may not know. Did you guys know that Pokemon is the biggest media franchise of all time? As of 2024, let me just give you some quick numbers. As of 2024, they were worth over $150 billion. More than Disney, more than anybody else you can think of. They are the top dogs, the creme de la creme. That's how much money these guys have made. And it's almost 2026 now. So they've had 2 more years almost, okay, of extra revenue. I don't know what that is. I know it's millions, definitely, and probably at least $1 billion. So you would think that somebody who's making money like this would definitely put money behind their future endeavors, their future projects. Instead, you get this slop that they call a game. And that's why people are so upset. They're so upset because they're like, yo, you got all this money, guys. And this is what you do. You could hire as many people as you needed to. You could do whatever you needed to make this game do what it does. And you're not doing it. And to make matters worse, Nintendo is synonymous for making excellent, beautiful first-party games. Usually when they do a first-party game, they're great games. The Zelda games, the Mario games, they're great. Luigi's Mansion, all of their first-party games, they put their best people on it, their best devs, they're in-house. They have brilliant devs over at Nintendo. They do. They can make so many great things. They can turn sugar into shit. Think about how old the Switch is, the Switch 1. They were able to stretch that fucking thing so long. You're not doing that with mediocre devs in the house. You're not doing that. So my thing is, why not put your best people on it, your best resources on Pokemon, which is supposed to be the biggest franchise ever? Why would you cut corners on that? And that's why people are upset, because Nintendo looks at Pokemon like a stepchild, a redheaded stepchild. Okay. They're going to feed you porridge and they're going to feed the rest of the kids barbecue and soda pop. Meanwhile, Pokemon, they're getting fucking porridge and water, and dirty tap water at that. It makes sense. People are going to start calling people out when these things happen, when mistakes get made, as it should be. Anyway, fans are upset at this, man. And they're going to keep being upset. They're going to be outside with their pitchforks until they finally get it together, which, guys, who knows if they ever will. We're talking about Nintendo here. We're talking about a company who really doesn't give 2 shits how you feel. All right. Nintendo really doesn't care about their fans. They don't put their fans first. They don't. They do what they want to do, and you're going to get in line or not. Apparently, most people have gotten in line because they're buying it. It's the fastest selling console to date. The numbers are crazy right now. There's a lot of people talking shit about Nintendo, but they're still going and buying the Switch 2. All right. They're still participating in this fuckery. And until that changes, their practices won't. They're going to continue to do the same thing. They're going to continue to put out butter on the counter. They're going to continue to hit people over their head with a foreign object, remove their garments down to their ankles, turn the lights down low, and do strange things to your person in the dark until you get tired of it and until you stop buying their shit. And that's why I didn't buy the Switch 2 personally. All right. I wasn't happy with what they were doing. All right. They had nothing to offer. The money they were asking for what they were giving me did not make sense. It didn't, and it still doesn't. There's not a game out there on the Switch 2 for me personally that I say, yo, this is worth owning the console. I need at least 3 titles that I can say, whoa, okay, they're cooking. They're finally cooking here. I need accessories. I need third-party accessories because you're not going to get it from Nintendo. Even the Switch 1, all right, I had to wait for a third-party accessory before I could actually play it portable. I'm talking about Hori, okay? Love them to death. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's going to take time to cook. Things are going to start to develop. Of course, there will be third-party things happening. If Nintendo doesn't sue their asses, hopefully we can get some stuff that they let pass. And those are 2 things that are major for me if I'm going to ever own a Nintendo Switch 2. I have friends who have it. They have buyer's remorse. It's just sitting there collecting dust, to be honest with you. In their defense, it's not their go-to system. It's a sidekick system. You know, they're a PlayStation person, so they PS5'd up. They also have an Xbox as well. So if it's your main system, hey man, you know, have at it. If you love Nintendo like that, hey, have at it. But if you're somebody who owns multiple systems, this is not it. This is not it. It's definitely not it for those third-party games. All right, because they're coming out with games that are already released for a lot of other consoles. They're going to be inferior on top of all of that. It just doesn't make sense if you own multiple systems to buy third-party games from them, right? Just doesn't. Nintendo is always, for me, hey, I need to see what you have in the first party. I need to see what you have that nobody else will have. And until I see that, I mean, it's going to take a few years. I keep telling people that. For me, 2 to 3 years is what I'm looking at before I can say, okay, we'll see. And by then, get ready for that Switch 2 Lite or that Switch 2 Plus or whatever they're going to call it. That's just what we're living now. Everybody does it. Everybody does it now. But that's the Nintendo news, man. That's what a lot of people are upset about. You want to piss people off, man, you go ahead and take a shit on Pokemon and see what happens, right? But the question is, does Nintendo really give a damn? I don't think it's going to happen because they're not going to show Nintendo that they give a damn. There's people going to be bitching and moaning, of course, but they're not going to judge with their wallets. The same person bitching and moaning, he's going to bitch and moan all the way to Best Buy as he's walking in with the game in his hand and he's walking out, opening it up. That's what we're dealing with right now. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Sony and their state of play. A lot of people said it was hot garbage, as they say in Europe, but it was okay. It wasn't the best by far, please believe it. And it was only technically televised in Japan. And I think that reason was because they were catering to their audience more so. And it wasn't supposed to be looked at as a grand kind of thing. But if you're a Sony fan, you're going to want to know, like me, hey, what you guys got out there? Because to be honest with you guys, a lot of the shit that they do in Japan, I love. I like their shit, right? A lot of the stuff that the West doesn't really get or understand or really take a shine to, that's not how I look at it. I'm quite the opposite, right? I like a lot of shit that they do over there. And that's why I started messing with Sony as a brand in the first place. Because I was introduced to all these JRPGs. I was introduced to all these RPGs, open world, these characters, their library. That's what I fell in love with. I was anxious to see what they had to offer. And if I'm being honest, it was mid. It was mid. It wasn't as bad as people, I think, are claiming that it was. It just depends on what games you're looking for, what genre of games you play. I think that's how you got to look at that. But by no means am I singing this thing's praises. Please believe me, okay? But I'm just going to report on a few things that I did see that I did like. And one thing that I see a lot of people talking about, they call this the bright spot of it all, is the Elden Ring Night Rain DLC. And it's called the Forsaken Hollows. I think they're adding a bunch of new stuff. I never played the game. All right. I do love Elden Ring, but I wasn't a super Elden Ring fan, guys. Okay. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Elden Ring is definitely a awesome game, but it wasn't my top game, period. You know, a lot of people call it their greatest game ever, game of the century, game, whatever. I mean, hey, if that's how you feel, man, I'm not going to eat your lunch for that. Do you? That's what they, showed. They showed a little bit of that. It looked interesting though. Definitely looked interesting. A lot of people say that they really liked that fast-paced version of Elden Ring. And so I thought that was a decent trailer that they showed. Also, Octopath Traveler 0, which they showed. If you're a fan of that series, guys, because you know there's 2 of them out now. I mean, you can definitely get into that. I didn't really play these, but I can respect them, you know, turn-based RPGs. And this one has a demo available right now. So if you want to go check it out, you can. And I really appreciate these demos. I really do. I hope we get more of them. And I really do appreciate these demos, guys. And Steam, one thing about Steam, hey, they definitely give you some demos, man. So a lot of time you get them over there that you don't even get them for the console. So, hey, the fact that they released a demo for this, especially all the fans who are into Octopath Traveler, man, kudos to them for that. So I hope they enjoy that shit for sure. Here's a game that me personally, this goes back 20 years, over 20 years, but this is Tokyo Extreme Racer. This one's coming out February 26th, 2026, guys. And this is the first one they had in 20 years. Okay. It's a throwback. I think PlayStation 2, as I remember it, but I actually have this game. I think I have the original one that came out back in that day. I think I have it on my Steamdeck, matter of fact. I just love the Japanese racers. I really like this one. I love the aesthetic. I love the stages. I just love Japan. And pretty much everything about it, guys. So yeah, that street life out there, man, is pretty dope. You know, opposite sides of the road and things of that nature. It's just so Japan, and it's dope. And they're doing another game. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking out for this one, man, because I definitely enjoy a good racer, especially like the old school racers, man. Like a lot of these racing games in the past, they got some awesome ones, man. They really, really fucking do. Okay. That's pretty much what they showed. There's one other game that I wasn't even checking for. And I just said, you know, what is this? Blaze Blue. Let me check out the trailer. And I went ahead and checked it out. And this is called Blaze Blue Entropy Effect X. These names are crazy. But this is slated for February 12th, 2026. And this is looks like a Metrovania action game. And it looks dope. I think you have like 12 to 14 different characters to choose from, and you can kind of put together your own teams and your own synergies and make your own builds based on the characters you pick and the moves you select per character. It looks pretty dope, man. I really like what I saw here. And this is something that, you know, definitely when it goes on sale or definitely, you know, it would be a game I'd add to the library eventually. You know, I'm a game hoarder. Call me what you will. I don't have any time to play games like I would like to, especially in the last 3 months, because my schedule changed a little bit. So I'm kind of short one day. So I'm trying to fix that. My son is running track. So when track season is over, I should be able to do that, you know, and take Sunday off. So my dream days are Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off, right? That's what I'm going to eventually want to kind of convert to. So that I can work on I need 3 days. 3 days is just enough for me to do what I'm trying to do. And 2 days is just not enough. That extra day gives me that extra day of rest. I feel rejuvenated for the work week when I go back, and everything is just love like that. So I'm trying to keep it there. Okay. And every once in a while, it leaves me open that I can work Sunday, and Sundays are always half days for me. So if I did want to, you know, earn a little extra money or needed to do something here, okay, I could go this Sunday. That's how I'm trying to do my schedule moving forward. And I'm working on content now, guys. I have 2 channels, and I've been just working very hard and trying to get this stuff out. So I still also need time to play games. You know, a few hours at a time, that's not enough. I need more sometimes, you know, and that's what's been happening. There's so much shit out right now going on that I just don't have enough time, guys. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. And yeah, that's, hopefully that's information for the Sony State of Play. There were other games there, but I mean, to be honest with you, it was anything I was interested in, personally. You can always go check it out online if you really want, but trust me, you didn't really miss too much. So that was a State of Play. I'm ready for the real State of Play. I want to see some Sony first party games. I want to see some in-depth gameplay of some of these other games that we're waiting on. But, you know, that's for another day. But it is what it is. Now, getting off of that, let's move on. And I want to talk a little bit before I get into this last piece of the puzzle of the show. I want to talk about Where Winds Meet, because it just came out. And I've been playing a little bit. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of time. Loving my experience so far with the game, to be honest with you. I do have some gripes. And one of my gripes on this game is that it has so much going on. When you're dealing with these MMOs, guys, especially like these free to plays, you realize that there's a lot of shit to work through. Okay. There's so many ways that they created to get people to pay, okay, real world money. And, you know, some people go to Harvard and Yale and the top colleges and they study engineering and science and things of that nature. But some people go and they study on how to make fucking free to play MMOs. And they go into the lab and they get paid well to go in there and figure out a strategy to get people to create different currencies, put them in a game and make it able to be placed upon everyone so they can buy shit with real world money. Okay. Now you can play this free. I've been playing it free. I haven't bought anything real world, anything, right? Anything you do pay for will be cosmetics. Okay. It's not a play to win type thing. The game is definitely big, open, and the combat is excellent. Probably my favorite thing of the game so far is the combat. I'm still early. I haven't got into it like I really wanted to, but there's a lot of shit to do in this game. And I'm still just getting used to all of the fucking everything on the screen, all the fucking options and menus, guys. It's a lot. Okay. And trying to distinguish what's what, like what buys what currency is this? There's so many different currencies. It's crazy. All right. So it's going to take a while to get to that. Plus, the game is 111 gigabytes, not 100, 111. That shit it took me like 3 hours to download, put it like that. I'm not hardwired into my PlayStation, so it took 3 hours. My boy, he had his shit fast. He was hardwired, so I was not. So I'm thinking about doing that. That requires some moving around. But anyway, I'm enjoying what I've seen so far. I went down a rabbit hole. I found this dungeon. I went down there and I got some stuff. And, I can definitely see where this game could go. I'm going to play it some more and get into, some of the other things. Eventually, money, buying homes, things of that nature, and see how that stuff works. But that's going to take time. And then when you have limited time, that's another thing. So I have that. And then there's, the new update with Arc Raiders that just came out. So I haven't even played the new stage yet. Want to. It's huge. And I'm definitely going to get some game time in the next couple of days on that. But when it comes to Arc Raiders, guys, my heart is cold now. My heart has been turned cold. Anybody I'm shooting on sight if I'm solo. I'm not even playing around. You walk up to me talking about, hey, don't shoot. I'm going to shoot you. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. I've been stabbed in the back so many times. So if you get me, and I start the fight, hey, I deserved it, right? Deservingly so, and that's fine. But I'm telling you now, I'm not playing these games with these people out here in these Arc Raider streets anymore. It's fun. I definitely enjoy my time with it, and I can't wait to get back out there. But that's how I feel right now, man. And, I had a good little run with my boy this past few days. And, we definitely put in some work. That was a really nice run we did. We put a lot of people down that last playthrough we did. So I was feeling pretty good when I left there the last time. So we'll see, man. Definitely, they definitely got a nice recipe over there. And it's definitely going to stay on the PlayStation for quite some time. I don't see myself putting that down. So really, I have that. I have Where Winds Meet. And then I still have to go ahead and finish Ghost of Yote. These are the games I'll be playing throughout the rest of the year. Okay. When I do have time, right? And I still got to find some time to eventually go and jump on this Outer Worlds 2, which I downloaded. And I haven't even made my fucking character yet. So like I said, guys, these are things I would love to fucking do. But time is just crazy. So I'm trying to balance this shit. You know what I mean? Do I work on my videos and content during the work week and then I just enjoy my days off and play my games and things of that nature? I try to do that. It's so hard to do that sometimes and not be thinking about content or how can I do this or how can I do that? So maybe I take one day and I do content, boom. And then the other day, that Tuesday, I'm just chilling. Like I'm just going to play some games. I'm going to watch some anime. I'm going to watch some movies, like me and my wife, we watch one tonight before the podcast. And then we're going to watch one tomorrow, maybe two tomorrow, because she took off work just for the sake of us spending some time together. But guess what? My daughter got sick and she can't go back to school until Wednesday. So, you know what I mean? It was just going to be a one-on-one alone type of situation, but it's not happening because my daughter, Yuri, is going to be here. And if you know anything about 5-year-olds, when you try to watch movies, guys, you're never going to get away clean. You're not walking away from that clean. All right. You're going to have a tablet in the background playing with one of her shows. You're going to have her asking for juice. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have all these things happening. And it's just what it is. So you got to fucking focus in. So it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they go on for break next week. So everybody's going to be here. So it's going to be, yeah. Okay. So it is what it is. You got to love it. Family life. Now, wrapping all that up, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get to the end, okay, to the very end of this. And I want to talk about this evolution, this Steam machine, guys. Yes, Steam machine. Everybody talked about this when this news dropped, okay? There's a lot of people who are very excited, as they should be, I think. There's a lot of people, of course, who have things to say. They want to criticize. And, hey, if you feel one way or the other, it's your prerogative. But I want to get into this Steam machine and why I'm excited for it. Okay. Because it's basically, if I have to put it into words, it's a entry level PC. That's the best way I can put it, guys. Okay. Now I have a Steam Deck. I love the Steam Deck, but it's limited. I don't play AAA games on that Steam Deck purposely. Now there are some you can play on the Steam Deck. There are some that are actually approved and you can actually play them, right? With limited settings. And that's fine if that's how you want to play it. But me personally, that's not what I was looking for with the Steam Deck. I was looking at the Steam Deck for indie games from Steam, games that you can't get anywhere else but Steam, and retro games like PlayStation 2 and GameCube and things of that nature. That's what I usually have on. That's what I have on my Steam Deck. I have a lot of retro Nintendo stuff, just retro period. PlayStation 2, things of that nature I have over there. And I have, a lot of indie games on the Steam Deck. That's what I play it for. And I get a lot of early access to demos and things of that nature. Cool shit like that, right? Stuff you can't get anywhere else. That's why I got the Steam Deck for. Now, I want a console as well. I want something to play beefier games, maybe a little bit beefier for a decent price. And there are a lot of systems out there now, like really pretty good fucking systems out there for a decent price. The competition is fierce out there when you talk about these boxes now. And so that's what Steam is trying to tackle now. Okay. Because they claim that this Steam box, a lot of people call it the GameCube, believe it or not. They say that this thing is 6 times stronger, 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, which is really good. And some of the specs, you're going to get 4K, 60 hertz upscaling on this. This is what you're going to average get. Now, could you tweak some things? Yeah, you could and get some more or a little bit less out of something. Sure. You probably, yes, but that's the tier we're looking at here. Also, it's only got 8 VRAM in it. Now, I don't know too much about computers, guys. I'm not a PC player like that. I'm trying to get into it a little bit. But I want easy access. I want to play PC games without the bloat of playing PC games, if that makes sense. But if you're not familiar with how PC games work, guys, it's not as simple as plug and play. That's not how it works over there. Okay. There's a lot more to it. You have to configure a lot of things in a lot of cases to get shit to work right or the way you want it to. If you're not familiar with that, you're going to get a rude awakening once you start, going over on the other side of the fence. Okay. Those days of plugging shit up and just turning it on and having one update, those days are over if you're going over there. But what makes Steam Deck so cool and what makes that device so awesome is that it allows you that. Okay. It's still something, a learning curve on it, but it's a light learning curve. And once you figure that stuff out, then it's easy to play. Okay. The Steam store, boom. Okay. You can turn your shit on, you can play your shit and you can move on. You want ease of use. That's what you want. And that's what this thing is going to bring to the table. Now, 8 VRAM, that's what a lot of people are complaining about, but there's no price yet. So we don't know how much this is actually going to cost. Now, the talk around the campfire is it's going to be somewhere around $600 to $800. That's a sweet spot. Because if you look at all the specs that this thing has and compare it to all the other competition out there, like especially in the Chinese market, guys, you're looking at around, $750 for a device like this. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this Steam machine that I personally like is the fact that it's a nice little box. It's pretty powerful. It's going to play what I want it to play. You're going to be able to play AAA games now on this. Some with higher, specs than others. You're going to be able to play them and not worry about, I got to play this at 30. You should be able to at least play these in 60 on certain games, maybe 45. And I'm cool with that. And some even higher than 60. Okay. So we'll just see what happens. But there's a lot of us still playing on 1080p monitors, right? A lot of us don't have 4K yet. They haven't graduated to 4K yet. So over 50%, I think 54% of players are still on 1080. Yeah. It's going to be some time before all that is, done. So, you still have room to grow. You have a ceiling that you can feel, per se. And the ceiling is, like I said, as far as upgrades are concerned, what I like about it is the fact that it does leave you a chance or a way to upgrade this later, right? You can also treat it like a PC. You can run Windows on it. You can run other operating systems on it if you want. You can run other hosts on there too. You don't have to just run, Steam. You could do other ones as well. Other launchers you could run on this too. So it gives you freedom to kind of just do what you want to do, like treat it like a personal computer, so to speak. So that's cool as well. If you want to add more RAM, if you want to add certain things, you can actually go in there and you can upgrade this thing. It's not limited to what is in the box. What's in the box is fine. But if you want a little bit more kick, you can add that for certain scenarios if you want to. You know what I mean? So I like that as well. Like I said, I'm waiting on that price, man. That price is going to basically say everything else. That's what everybody's waiting on. Let's find out how much it's going to cost. Then we can figure out what is really worth what. And I think they're going to deliver a decent price for this. And I was already looking for another box. I saw one I was going to get for maybe $350, and it was pretty beefy little thing. Just looks like a little fucking box, man. But it ran. I saw some videos. It ran everything. It ran most games. It was pretty good. And you throw, Steam on that boy and off to the races. So this might be something that might get picked up. So I'm really excited about this, to be honest with you, man, because my experience so far is, besides the initial setup, everything has been awesome as far as the Steam Deck is concerned, guys. The games that I've played, the demos that I've checked out, things of that nature. So I'm very happy. And there's some games that I bought. There's one game I bought that was, I think it was Sons of the Forest. I think that's the name of it. And, I was playing with a friend of mine and, we had some good time playing it. But, I was playing on the Steam Deck, right? And I had it docked and it was okay. But his was playing a lot better because he had a beefier computer, of course. So I wouldn't like to, play that on this and get that fidelity and all that, you know what I'm saying? So that's the type of thing, that I'm talking about here. I was basically punching above my weight class with this game a little bit as far as the Steam Deck is concerned. Yeah, you can play it. You can still do your thing or whatever, but the experience could have been better. And that's what this thing will kind of let you do, and there's a lot of awesome games on the Steam library that I would like to play, but I wouldn't want it for the Steam Deck because I wouldn't be able to get as much out of it as I would like to. And so this machine would be perfect for that. And this machine is also catered towards about 70% of people who are going to be buying this, guys. We're not talking about these elitists out here. We're not talking about the guys who spend thousands of dollars on their rigs. Okay. We're not talking about these guys. We're talking about the average person who is going to be playing and who plays Steam anyway. Right. Most people have mid to low, PCs and, good enough to play most of their games, right, on decent settings, on average settings. And that's the most of the players. So you're going to be able to get that experience heightened. You'll be able to get a decent experience out of what this thing offers, guys. You know what I mean? Comparable to, at least consoles for the most part. You're at least going to be able to get your, high fidelity, 45, 60 frames on this thing, right? 1080p on a monitor. You're good. You know what I mean? I haven't ran 4K and I don't see myself running 4K anytime soon. I'm cool with 1080. Like I said, we're approaching a place now, and technology wise, where how good can you get something to look now? How good can you actually get something to run without diminishing returns? And we're approaching that time now, right? Where you're like, okay, you're 4K, you're 1080. There's not that much of a difference, okay, when you're playing it. Where do we stop? They're talking about 8K. Okay, there's going to come a point where it's just, it doesn't matter. You've hit a wall, and so I'm perfectly fine with that. So that's where we're at. That's the Steam machine. I hope you guys, I guess, enjoyed the show because it's it. That's it. That's all we got. Yeah, that's it, man. I want to thank everybody for downloading, streaming, listening to the podcast. Like I said before, excuse my voice. It sounds like hot garbage. I know I can't breathe out of my damn nose. And it's just been one of those weeks, but it is what it is. I was able to put this out. So it's a win. It's a win for everybody. And I'll see you guys next week. You do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. For the last time, I love you guys dearly. All my OG listeners, guys. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys so much. All my newcomers, I hope to see you again, man. Come back next Monday. Also, if you have not done it, I'm going to say it every week, guys. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube. All right. The podcast will go up there every Wednesday. I have discussion videos. I have shorts and I have gameplay videos. Okay. I've got a lot of gameplay coming up. I've got Arc Raiders coming up. I'm going to have some Where Winds Meet eventually. And I've got I think in December, I think Black Myth Wukong. And, I want to say something else. I want to say First Berserker Kazan. Gameplay stuff up there. So definitely we got stuff coming, man. Support your boy. If you're listening to the show, man, you got to go, support me over there on YouTube. So I'm trying to grow that channel. And yeah, man. So that being said, I'm going to bow out gracefully, guys. I love you. And I will see you next week. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver. And you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.